Students, I welcome you to the English class of class 10th. In the last period, we have taught how the beggar was forced to work on Serge's woodshed and what was the behavior of the beggar while he was chopping the wood. Now, Serge's anger had vanished. He now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in the cold. So Sarji felt very ashamed of himself because when he came to know about the poor condition of the beggar, he was unwell, he was a spoiled person, he was a drunkard one, and he forced him to do the work in the extreme cold in the extreme coldness. So his anger vanished or disappeared. Then after an hour, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Olga was the name of the cook of Sergi, and after 1 hour, Olga came to Sergi and announced that the wood all had been chopped. Had been chopped means here refers to it is a passive sentence. Had been chopped by someone. By someone here reflects to by the beggar. That the beggar had chopped all the wood. So Sarji said, "Good, give him half a ruble." Remember, this was the first earning of the beggar in Sarji's house. Half a ruble. Half a ruble means a ruble here refers to currency of Russia, and half a ruble means 50% of a ruble. It was the first earning of the beggar in Sarji's house. Then, good, give him half a ruble, said Sarji. If he wants, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. And he suggested another thing to beggar, that if he wants, then he may come to the woodshed on the first of each month and chop wood. And every time he would come here, I would provide him work. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଟିକେ ଆସିବ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ କାମ ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ କରିବା ଆଉ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ସେ କ'ଣ କଲେ ତାକୁ ଆଉ ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୋଟେ ଅଫର ଦେଇଥିଲେ because it was the intention of Sarji. What was the real intention of Sarji? Sarji's intention was to change the beggar's attitude, to create a sense of work in the beggar's mind. That was the real intention of Sarji. Then on the first day of the month, the wife made his appearance, and again he earned half a ruble. So on the first day of the next month, the beggar again appeared in the woodshed, and he also got some work. And on that day also he earned half a ruble as per the condition. Although he could barely stand on his legs, although it was very difficult to stand on his legs because he was extremely weak and he was a drunkard person and he was a spoiled person, he did not have any efficiency to do work. Still he came on the first of the month and earned half a ruble from Sarji's house. Then from that day on here refers to that day after. On that day after, he often appeared in the yard. He often means most of the times he would come to the yard, and every time he would come there, work was found for him. Every time he came there, then work was found for him. So from that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. Found for here refers to provided to him. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଆସୁଥିଲା ତା ପାଇଁ କିଛି ନା କିଛି କାମ ସେ ଦଉଥିଲେ. Then now he would, so what other works besides chopping of the wood the beggar would do? First is shovel the snow. Shovel here refers to, it is a type of instrument for digging of the soil or taking out of the soil. ଯାହାକୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ବେଲଚା ବୋଲି କୁହନ୍ତି. So shovel of the soil, shovel here is used as a verb. To water the plant, that means to give water to the plant. To shovel the snow, that means to slide out the snow, to take out the snow and to clear the road, because I already told you that Russia is a cold country and every time snow would cover all over the ground. So ସେଇଟାକୁ slide କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସେଇଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ତାର ଗୋଟେ କାମ ଥିଲା. So what was the second work? He would now put the wood shed in order. He would arrange woods in the wood order. In the wood shed रे नेकी काठ गुड़ा सब साइज कर रखुतले. Second work. What was the third work? So third work was that dust out the rocks and mattresses. Dust out here refers to clean the mats and the mattresses. Rocks here refers to the mats जोड़ा की फ्लोर रे पड़े ता सहित mattresses जो गति ताकू सब झाड़ी के सफा कर. These three other types of works was done by the beggar besides chopping of wood. Then every time he would come or he would do other works besides chopping of wood, he would receive 20 to 40 kopecks. This word को मन रखो सब बेले. 20 to 40 kopecks. On the first appearance, the beggar received half a ruble. Then in other works besides chopping of wood, he would receive 20 to 40 kopecks each time. So 20 to 40 kopecks was sent out to him, and also every time he received 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of trousers was also provided to him and was also donated to him. It was also sent out to him. Then when Sarji moved into another house means Sarji shifted his another, because Sarji was a rented person, he was an advocate, so he changed his house. So when he moved into another house or when he shifted the house, he hired the beggar. Hired the beggar means he provided some work for the beggar as a paid labor, rented labor. So he hired the beggar for packing and hauling of the furniture. Packing and hauling of the furniture means packeting of the furniture and transporting it to the other house. Hauling here refers to transporting into the other house. This time the wife was sober, gloomy and silent. Wife here refers to a homeless person. The beggar is referred as a wife because he did not have any house of his own, so he was called as a wife. So the wife at that time, he was sober. Sober here refers to gentle, or he left or he gave up drinking. And gloomy, he was sad and unhappy, and also silent. He did not talk too much. He hardly touched the furniture. That means he did not do any work. Otherwise also he did not pretend to do work. तार काम करियार इच्छा नथिला कि से छलना मध्य करनथिला, and he was realizing everything mistake he had done in his life. ता लाइफ रे जति गुडा से मिस्टेक करछि ताकू से रिपेंट करके रियलाइज कला बेले कोन होतला ना, he felt himself ashamed, he was shameful or attitude, or he was very much shameful for his past work. So, and walked behind the wagon. Wagon here refers to a carriage. Carriage माने गोटे बहुत बड़ा गोटे टली टाइप रे हेतु ताकू गोटे घोड़ा कि कोनस जिंस टाणी कि नथिबो, तो that is called as wagon. And he was walking behind the wagon, hanging his head. Hanging his head refers to bending down his head, as if of shame, or as if a lot of shamefulness on him. Not even making pretense of appearing busy. He only shivered in the cold. He only was shivered in the cold. Shivered means thoriba, shake, due to extreme cold in the daytime, and became embarrassed, and his tattered fancy overcoat, and became embarrassed. Embarrassed here refers to he was feeling very shameful of his tatter. Tatter means due to his poor condition and due to his torn out clothes. He felt very shameful. लाज लागुतला ताको एते जोरे तेलुकर जेतेबेले गोटे लोकटे निशाशक्त अवस्था रे थिला तार रियलाइजेशन हो नथला एतर भलो को पळे आसला तार रियलाइज हला ता मिस्टेक गुडाको. So he felt very shameful for him and embarrassed, and his tattered fancy coat. After the moving was over, Sarji sent for him. After the moving was over means after the shifting was over, Sarji called him by some person. जनक द्वारा ताकू डकेइले पाखु. Well, I am happy that my words have taken effect. He said to the beggar that I am happy that my words have taken effect, means work properly. He said, handing over him a ruble, 1 ruble. A ruble here refers to 1 ruble. On this time, he was given 1 ruble. Here is for your pains. Pains means labor. Here is for your labor. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. He also said, I see you are now left drinking and you don't have any objection to do work. Then this time only he asked the beggar his name. Asked him, what is your name? Then he said, Luskop. well, Laskov, I am now offer you some other cleaner employment. I am giving you a chance of other employment. And he also asked, can you write? Can you read and write? He said, yes, I can read and write. Yes. Then take this letter to one of the friend of mine. He would give you some of the copying work to do. Copying work to do means work of a notary under the advocate. Advocate under जो मान था इस मान लिखी के रखते टिपिक दियंते, that is called as copying work. This was called as cleaner employment. Then he also advised Laskov, work hard, don't drink, and remember what I have said to you. These words are advised: work hard and don't drink. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sarji tapped Laskov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hat. Sarji patted him on the back, and also he gave up his hand, or he made a handshake with Laskov, and that day onwards the beggar was not seen on the ad. So it was the separation of Sarji and Laskov, and the next time I will explain you the other part of the story, or the last part of the story. I have given you the word meanings, and also I have given you some questions, and you try to answer. And if you have any problem, then you can ask me, or you can write it simply to me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you very much.